obviously that stuff adds up and it's not good. I remember when we first got to Team Alpha Male, like it was like me, Benavidez, Dillashaw, Danny Castillo, Justin Buckles. Like we had all the UFC guys in there and Faber, and we would just 16-ounce gloves, headgear, tape up, and just basically be trying to KO each other for the entire sparring session, you know? And I remember there was guys that would get knocked out, like, you know, guys that would jump in and spar with us and, you know, would get knocked out. I remember one of the guys went out and sat in his car, and he sat in the driver's seat for like 20 minutes and then didn't realize, like he looked at his clock and he didn't realize he was there for that long. Like he was basically concussed, like really
just
bad.
Out of it.
Yeah. It was just like sitting there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's not good, man. And so we didn't know that. I mean, Dwayne's actually the one that kind of calmed us down when he came into Team Alpha Male. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Yeah, let's get some structure to this, you know,
right.
And had drills and, you know, calmed us down even in striking. Like, let's go 30%, let's go 50%, you know, and, you know, you still get some asshole that's in there just like, but,
right.
You know, he definitely kind of opened our eyes to the preserving of the brain type sparring, you know, and it definitely helped. I think once we started doing that, everybody's technique got so much better.
Well, Dwayne is a master of technique. I mean, he is one of those guys that emphasizes technique. The technique is everything. What's so interesting to me about Dwayne's style of teaching is it's so much different than his style of fighting. It's like he realized something when he was done fighting, like, you know what? I kind of know how to do this better.
Yeah.
And like the switching of stances and all the feints and the fakes. But if you go back and watch his Muay Thai career or Dwayne's MMA career, I mean, amazing fights, but he doesn't fight like TJ.
No, not at all.
Like but he taught TJ a better way to fight.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Like I remember him when he was at Team Alpha Male. I think that was kind of the beginning of doing all that type of stuff. And I don't know if he was just kind of like testing all this stuff out on us and then like see what would take and then be like, oh, that works.
Right.
And then keep going that direction. And if you try something that doesn't, then just kind of throw it away. But dude, I remember, I mean, obviously you know Dwayne, but caffeine, notepad, and that guy would just sit there. I don't think that guy sleeps. I mean, he'll sit there all night probably writing combos and
he's obsessed.
Oh yeah.
He's obsessed.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about a coach that can go and do that. You know, it's, you have those very few coaches in your life that have that obsession, and you know that's something special. And Dwayne has that.
Yeah, Mark Henry is another one of those guys. In jiu-jitsu, Danaher is another one of those guys. There's a few of those guys that have that absolute obsession with watching guys improve and figuring out what's the best technique. And also, like, Mark Henry's amazing because he develops combinations specific to each individual fighter and then names them based on, like, their kids or their friends or where they grew up, or, you know, for you it'd probably be like the archery elk hunt or something. He would yell out some weird thing where nobody else would understand what the fuck you were saying, and you would know what to do. And he would change it with every camp.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's super
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
In the wrestling world, Sammy Henson was that guy for me. My senior year was, I mean, Sammy took me to that next level, you know, and he was one of those guys that was obsessed, and he would like pull me aside. We'd have like separate one-on-one type sessions, and it really does make all the difference in the world.
It really does. Yeah, if you can find someone who's that obsessed as a coach. I mean, I talked to Gordon Ryan about it when it comes to John Danaher, and he's like, there's no mistake. Like, the reason why I'm so good is not just because of his, obviously he's physically gifted, he's intelligent, he's super disciplined, super dedicated, but also he said John Danaher is like a cheat code. He's like, I have this crazy obsessed jiu-jitsu coach who coaches 7 days a week, 365 days a year, doesn't take any days off ever, has no family, has no girlfriend, and then when he's done coaching, watches fights.
Yeah. That's special.
Try finding one of those guys.
That's fucking special.
Also, a genius who was a professor at Columbia, taught philosophy. What?
Yeah.
Try finding one of those guys. Good luck.
Yeah,
they don't
not happening.
exist. There's one.
Yeah.
You know, and he's actually moving here.
Is he?
Which is very exciting.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's moving to Austin.
Oh, you're going to be all over that.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Can't wait to pick his brain.
Yeah.
I mean, look at just even for my commentary game, I would for sure want to learn jiu-jitsu from him, but just my commentary game will improve in leaps and bounds just talking to him.
That's cool.
He's amazing. But, you know, how many of those guys exist? There's a few of those guys in kickboxing, of course. You got Dwayne. You know, you got Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman is a spectacular coach. You know, you got some amazing coaches out there, without a doubt. But to find ones that are just maniacally obsessed, it's so rare.
And I miss training with Dwayne. Like that whole situation with Faber, obviously.
Very upsetting.
Yeah, it is, man. And I stayed out of the middle of it. You know, I have a ton of respect for Faber, and I have a ton of respect for Dwayne.
As do I. Yeah.
So,
I love both of those guys. It sucked. And, you know, I talked to Dwayne about it, and I talked to Faber about it. I'm like,
I know.
You know, I can't do anything. I don't know them well enough to get in the middle of it and arbitrate. But I feel like the improvement that everybody was making under Dwayne was tangible. It was noticeable.
Yeah.
It's like he came along, and then all of a sudden, everybody had this footwork. They're moving good. Their striking combinations seem to be improving.
I agree. Yep.
TJ, for sure, was the most, he benefited the most from
He took to it probably the best, for sure.
Like a duck to water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked perfect for TJ. His style of wrestling, his body style, and his ability to, I mean, TJ is one of those guys that gets obsessed too. And him and Dwayne just really meshed on that fact of notepad, writing, you know, mapping everything out. And TJ has that memory, you know, that kind of comes along with it, where he can remember all these different crazy combos and then get out there and actually perform it. Like, that takes a special athlete to be able to see that thing on paper, train it, and then actually hit it in a fight, for sure.
The wild thing about his fight with Sandhagen was Sandhagen had him in a fucking triangle, locked up. And I was like, man, I wonder if he had some, like, pointers on how to finish that better. That would have been it. Because it seemed locked the fuck in. I mean, he went through a knee, right? And then TJ takes him down, and in the process of taking him down, he locks up, fully locked up triangle early in the fight. And I was like, man, I feel like he's got this. I was like, I thought TJ was going to tap.
Yeah, man. I mean, that dude's a beast. I was worried for TJ going into that fight. I mean, that's a lot of people are like, oh, I think TJ's going to go in there and just destroy. And I'm like,
you ain't going to destroy Sandhagen. I mean, the only guy who's ever really destroyed him was Aljo. And Aljo took him down and choked him. You know, and Aljamain's got some fucking nasty jiu-jitsu. You know?
Yep. I mean, I definitely knew this was going to be a tough fight, and it was a tough fight coming off of that long, you know? And, like, TJ's not getting a tune-up fight. Like, this is going to make or break, like, show everyone TJ's back, or TJ's going to have to fight a couple times and get back. But
it's close a decision as you're ever going to see, too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can make an argument that that Sandhagen did more damage, and you can make an argument that Dillashaw controlled him more. Yeah, I'm a damage guy. I lean towards damage always. Yeah. But TJ close ass fucking fight. Man.
It was
close ass fight.
Well, I guarantee they're gonna run it back.
Oh, they have to.
We're gonna see that at least one more time.
Yeah.
So,
well, unfortunately, with TJ's surgery, I mean, he has like several major tears in that knee. You really never know what a guy's like once you get your knee mangled like that, because the pain. Like, it might inhibit training. It might become a problem. You know, it's so hard to say.
On TJ's post, he said it happened at this part right here, where his knee gets all twisted.
Yeah, heel hook right there. That's the heel hook. Yeah. So he was yanking on that heel hook.
Yeah.
You could see it. I mean, go back. And by the way, that is the worst kind of heel hook. The inside heel hook right there.
Man.
That's so nasty. So TJ just didn't tap, and he just tore his shit apart. Yeah, you can see it there.
See him keeping, he's keeping his weight off it there for a second.
You can see that here he falls too in the second round.
It's just, well, I'm sure because his knee was fucking mangled already.
Look at him stepping on it funny.
Yeah, he's walking.
I guess I didn't notice that before, but.
Yeah, he played it off well. He really did a good job playing it off and gutting it out, because he was obviously in like some serious pain. Right there, he got clipped. But part of getting dropped there was because he had no balance on that left leg. It was very wobbly. You know, have you had any surgeries on your knees?
No, thankfully. I've torn both MCLs through wrestling, but they were partial tears, and it was basically through wrestling season. I just had to wear a brace and do a lot of swimming. And it was actually, I think it was the first year as an All-American, I tore it like a couple weeks or a few weeks before Pac-10s, and just swam every workout up to Pac-10s, and then I just taped it up, went in there, and I ended up winning Pac-10s.
Wow.
And then ended up getting sixth.
Did you ever get surgery on it after that?
No, it was one of those things you just got to let heal up. Mm-hmm. They said unless it's a complete tear, you just basically let it heal.
Hey, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is you got on the carnivore diet and it really cured up your psoriasis. Yeah. Is that, I mean, how long have you had psoriasis for?
My whole life. I mean, I remember as a kid, it started on my shins, and it was just a small little patch. And I think as a kid, I even thought it was just a ringworm from wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
But it just never went away. And then just over the years, kind of slowly spread, got bigger. So it's basically from knee to ankle on both shins. And then, as I started getting older, it started showing up in different spots. I got on my elbows, my scalp, ears, little patches on my body cavity.
And what was your diet like then?
I'd like to say pretty much I eat clean, but I mean, everyone, I'd still every once in a while eat some like fast food, or, if I go to somebody's house and they're making stuff, I eat whatever they eat. But, for the most part, I thought I was pretty clean until I got on this diet, and then I really figure out like how bad I was eating. Like the amount of sugar, I think, is key. Like I got on this diet and I started March 1, and I did it for the last 4 months, or 4 months into that. But basically sugar, I noticed, was probably the worst thing for it.
Did you notice this because you added it in occasionally and you would see a difference?
No, I just was, my psoriasis over the years has just gotten worse and worse and worse until my buddy was basically telling me about this diet. And we started basically the American Almond Beef, my beef company. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I have all the beef at my fingertips here. I have all this wild game that I can live off of. The meat part of it's not going to be an issue. It's basically me just making my mind up and being like, just
this
do
is
this.
all I eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. And so it's always been something when I was fighting, like, because I've known about it. People have told me about it. Like, I think it'll really help your psoriasis. You should try it. But I'm like, I can't cut out carbs. Like, I need carbs for training. Like, I'm an explosive athlete. So that was always my mindset, So I never did it. And then finally I was just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it for a month. And if I don't see any improvements, I'll just kind of go back to normal. If I do see improvements, I'm going to continue doing it maybe for like 2 or 3 months and see what it looks like. Basically check.
But when I do check and like there's any sort of a hot button issue, I'll look at someone as saying something outrageous, then I'll click on their profile. And then I'm like, it's like a bunch of letters and a few numbers. And then I look at their profile, I'm like, oh, you're not even a real fucking person. And then you see, oh, this is like half of the people in this aren't real people. And there's no laws. Like there's no, I'm first of all, let me be real clear. I'm against a law where it says you have to post under your name, your social security number has to be registered to this account so we know you're a real human being. The reason why I'm opposed to that is because I think whistleblowers are essential, because I think corruption is real. And I think if you hold someone accountable for everything they post, man, you're going down a dark road. You're going down a dark road where you could possibly get people fired for posts that, like England is out of control right now. Like, I don't know if you know this, but England, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood. How many people got arrested for social media posts in England this year? We've looked this up before. I forget the number. It's in the thousands. Arrested for saying immigration's a real problem. We got to stop these grooming gangs. We got to, stop these Muslims from, illegally immigrating into England. Arrested. Go to jail. Like, for real.
That's insane.
People do time. They're doing time. Like, no bullshit, real time for saying things.
Like I could kill for a cheeseburger.
No,
like,
not
he said I killed.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. But it's mostly about policy issues. And what they're trying to do is make sure that everyone stays in line. And so they're doing this by scaring people away from being critical of the government. And the way to start it is to attack people that say anything bad about immigration, attack people that say anything bad about the government. In fact, they're just doing this in Brazil right now. They just passed this huge fucking law that you can get removed from social media for anything that's critical of the government, anything that's critical of Lula, who's the president of Brazil right now. You get removed from social media. Like, you can't be critical. Like, they don't have freedom of speech anymore. And this is the slippery road, this is a slippery slope that we were going down with the last administration, what they had done during the pandemic. It's scary stuff, man, and people have to be aware of it. And
well, I think there's a version of that too with what we were talking about on like the hard party politics people, right? Where it's like the social backlash of being a critical thinker is so much that it then creates a non-thinker, or you just totally leave that zone. You don't pay attention anymore. You're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. It's you self-censor. You self-censor out of survival. You know, you realize like, this is too dangerous. I'm not going to say anything, and that's how they get things passed. Because then you don't have any criticism, and then you don't have any. You don't have any people that are opposing you. It's very scary because, again, a lot of this stuff that you're seeing that's causing people to self-censor is not real human beings.
Yeah,
it's bots.
And that's my fear, is that when you finally get that person to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to leave this part of it behind and step out to advocate for what I believe in. And the first response they get is,
you voted for this.
Fuck you, you're getting what you deserve.
Yeah.
Right?
Police make 30 arrests a day for offensive online messages.
Oh, God.
Isn't that nuts? So, officers from 37 forces made 12,183 arrests in 2023, the equivalent of about 33 per day. Marks an almost 58% rise in arrests since before the pandemic. In 2019, 7,000 detentions for online shit. So what we have in America is incredibly unique in that regard. And other countries are setting a standard, and it's a dangerous fucking standard. And we have to really make sure that that doesn't happen here. And we also have to make sure, I wish there was a way where you could identify bots. And Elon tried to find this out when he bought Twitter. So when he purchased Twitter, they told him that it was less than 5%. And he's like, well, how did you figure that out? And well, they only figured it out. It's not real. It's not a real number. But they just took a random cross-section of 100 users and found 5% of those people were clearly bots. That doesn't mean anything.
Job's done.
Yeah,
found it, took care of it.
Well, you could also do that. You could take a random section of users that interact with very non-controversial subjects and find a small number of bots. Like, let's say you find a bird-watching group of people on Instagram or on Twitter. Like, what are the odds that those people are going to be bots? Very small, right? There's no reason. There's no benefit financially or otherwise, politically.
Big bird seed.
Yeah.
You know, coming
exactly, exactly. Like, so if you go after I use bird watchers because I see them all the time. You know, that's like the purest form of just this is what they're into.
Great group.
Yeah,
Yep.
Great group of people, but there's no financial incentive to support or deny bird watching. You know, so if you go to the bird watcher group on Twitter, yeah, it's probably 5% bots because they're fucking everywhere. But I guarantee if you go to abortion, or if you go to immigration, or if you go to anything that's a hot button controversial, ICE raids, whatever it is, any
fake meat,
anything, any hot button controversial subject, there's a shit ton of them, man. And it's kind of creepy because who is paying for it? Who's paying for it, and how come we don't have any laws to stop that from happening? Because it's not real. You're getting this artificial sense of what the general public wants because they've monetized it, and they've figured out a way to artificially inflate these numbers.
Yeah, and I think
it gives this illusion of this consensus amongst people, and they can do that, and even with like ridiculous conclusions.
And I think consensus, though, is so dangerous to any political party, right? Like what we just saw, there was an agenda, and everybody had to stand up and say something because of one frickin' person who wanted to make this happen.
Right.
And I guarantee you that what they're thinking about right now is, holy shit, how do we break up this consensus?